That's one thing about this podcast. We got some season.
Big facts.
Welcome back, y'all, to another episode of Why Y'all Working. As you know, we got the founder, the extraordinaire, Basil Udo with us, founder of Xeddy, a platform focused on connecting students to the best local eateries around them.
Are you a student, staff, or faculty member looking for the best deals around? With Xeddy, you can earn points every time you dine at your favorite local spots. Redeem rewards, get exclusive access to benefits and deals, and enjoy the taste of community spirit, all in one platform. Join us now. www.xeddy.app. Eat, earn, enjoy.
So I do want to ask this question, and it starts with a scenario. About a year and a half ago, me being a founder, I put a lot of time and energy into building authentic relationships that helped my business. You know, with Mindstand, the company that I co-founded, raising over $500,000 in venture capital, I'm glad to say we were able to meet, some of the most notable people in the ecosystem. But I remember a year and a half ago, I came to a demo day event and I saw you there. And within 10 seconds of just one shaking your hand, seeing another young man of color, and then finding out that you go to UMBC and also have your own startup, for someone like me, someone well-connected, I was able to connect with a rising student entrepreneur. And there are a number of student entrepreneurs listening to this, connecting with Why Y'all Working. What does it mean to network if you're a college student with the goal of creating your own startup?
Networking is probably one of those. So if you audit your time and you're looking at what your time is worth, I would say networking is very up there, right? Because it is really the connections that grow your endeavors. So your ability to go out and raise capital, your ability to go in and find customers. You get exposed to so much by connecting with the right people, connecting with anyone really. Because one thing that I've even just learned by being around certain people that are masters at connecting is you never know who is the most important person in the room. So be nice and be kind to everyone, So just having that mentality, being able to not differentiate or exclude anyone from the potential to network is really important. So I definitely think networking is it's an important skill for any college student to have that wants to progress in their career, progress in their specific endeavor, whether that's a startup, whether that's getting a job, whether that's just finding really cool people to be co-founders.
Now, do you think that networking is easy for you, and that's why it's so it just flows off the tongue? You can just be like, yeah, you should do it. It's the best use of your time,
Because you killed that.
Yeah. you definitely killed that. You made it seem very simple and easy. But there's a lot of entrepreneurs out there, myself included, right, that don't necessarily care for some of these events that we need to go to in order to make the connections and all these different things. So we got to get worked up to go into the event. Everybody has their own vice of how they get ready for an event. Some people meditate, others do whatever they want to do, right? So what's your kind of get ready for these events that that are going to be very socially battery draining? Does your battery get drained, or do you work through it? How does that?
Yeah. So I would not lie at all and say that it doesn't drain. It does drain.
Okay.
There are elements of it that requires you to be very the difference between introvert and extrovert. Right? You have to be that extrovert that is willing to put themselves out there and connect with someone that you don't know and just understand, get into someone else's world. You have to be okay with doing that. And that can be a very draining activity. But what helps me is typically just being okay with the fact that it's one day normally, unless it's an activity or a long list.
Conference of multiple days. Gotcha.
Right. So unless it's something like that, I typically just put it as, okay, this is one day. I'm going to put my best foot forward and see what happens.
Okay. Oh, for sure. And I think that's good to know too, because like sometimes you never know what may happen, and sometimes you could just step out the house and your life could change, right? Not everybody's life is like that, but you just happen to be at the right place at the right time, and you might get blessed. So I definitely understand that. I definitely hear that.
Yeah. And I mean, a big part too is, you know, for people learning the elevator pitch, it is who, what, when, where. Don't worry too much, or don't get too flustered in, oh, I don't have a startup yet, or we don't have revenue. Who are you? I'm Michael Agusanyo. What? I'm here for X reason. Why? I'm here because we want to do this. And then where? You know, we're based here. So once you're able to create like a very clear way for people to get it, and then like with so many events I've been to, I can't name the amount of times where I was so ready to go, and I was like, just spend a little 5 more minutes, 6 more minutes, and I meet like the most important person that I needed to meet that night. So just getting past that like urge to go home, everyone gets that. I feel like everyone thinks about like, I can be home with my blanket watching Netflix chilling, but as soon as you like get out of that space, like you said, be in their world and treat it like a day, an hour, an extra 5-6 minutes, yeah, you can meet people that can change your life. So I agree 100%.
Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah.
Exactly. Okay.
So Basil, I want to take a step back and ask a little more about, you know, who are you, your upbringing, your background, something we love to figure out, because there might be someone listening that can identify with your journey and who you are. So please, from day one of Little Basil, tell us about you and where you come from.
Yeah, so I'm Basil. But no, I mean, in all seriousness, I started off, you know, just wanting to know what it was that I wanted to do. And when I'm from Nigerian descent, so both of my parents, they came here in the 70s and the 80s. They started off, you know, back home. My dad was a mathematician. My mom was always into this caregiving, nursing mentality, so that's what she started doing as well when she came here. And for me, a lot of the influence that I currently have, a lot of the influences that exist in my life stem from my home. Mm-hmm. So my parents, my sister, my brother, I would say my parents probably have the most impact on me. You know, with coming up in a Nigerian household, there are a lot of just ideas and perspectives that are instilled in you early on, just to these ideas of success and what excellence and great work looks like. And it is very, you know, I'm not going to say it's good, I'm not going to say it's bad, but I will say that it does have an impact on the mindset, mm-hmm. and an impact on how you go forward and you make your mark on the world. And, you know, although I haven't stuck to the plan that was laid out to me by my parents, you know, but although that hasn't been the case, I will not say, I will say this, I'll say there's no thing I'm more grateful for than my parents being in my life.
Wow.
And you say that they're the main motivator for you to do the things that you do now, or like they're the main driving force as to like why you have the drive to just do you and be who you want to be?
Right, the latter for sure. Like who I am and why I am. I'll also say my sister, you know, she was a high school athlete, college athlete, so she knows how to joke around, but she does have some no-nonsense attitudes to her, mm-hmm. which I do appreciate, because one thing that I get from her is this idea of you can't accept mediocrity in yourself. Mm-hmm. So just, you have to be aware of yourself, be aware of what you're giving out, what you're putting into yourself. So definitely appreciate everyone.
And so the household, it was you, your mom, your dad, your older sister,
younger brother. Yeah.
Younger brother as well. So you're an older brother.
I'm the middle child. Love that. If that gives you guys any perspective.
Yeah. Okay.
So what is that family dynamic, especially talking through how your older sister creates that level of excellence? How does your younger brother look at his older brother?
Yeah, you know, I think, well, I can't speak for him, but I want to believe he appreciates the talks that I have with him, mm-hmm. although he doesn't always listen. I won't fault him for that. It's the act of growing up.
Thing, yeah.
Yeah. So, but no, I definitely do. I do believe he does appreciate the conversations we have, especially when they get to the deeper places. and I'm sure he does with my sister as well.
That's dope.
No, and I think that like it's important to note that like family plays a huge part into like your overall, like you said, the mindset, right? Of why you do the things that you do, for whom, how, in what particular way, you know, like no nonsense, get things done. Like, I guess, how do you feel those things have translated into your everyday life with Xeddy and as an entrepreneur moving forward? Because even if Xeddy didn't exist, right, and even before it existed and when you were building it from nothing, how did all of those things kind of get you to this point?
Yep. So, I would say with Xeddy and the intentionality around the work that gets done to get to this point, it's the mindset creates sort of this to-do list that you track over time, and not being too married to the specific things getting checked, but rather the idea or the concept behind those specific things. So ever moving forward, this concept of progression is definitely there, and and that drives a lot of this forward as well, and makes sure that there's no delineation from that as well.
Okay.
So I want to dive a bit into Xeddy some more in the team.
Yeah.
The inspiring people, the friends, that you're able to coalesce around an idea and get to working. If you were able to use some adjectives or a story even to define like what that culture, what does it look like for the young men and women, contributing towards Xeddy.
Right. So, and even like bringing it back to your point, because I think I didn't answer your question all the way, and it ties into what you're saying. A lot of the things that I grew up with, the ideas around hard work, great work, excellence, no nonsense, that's not as applicable when you're working with people. Those are still values that you can have and values that you can instill in your team, but people definitely need to have something to aspire to, and they also have to feel motivated to work with you. They don't want to be commanded. They don't want to be driven off a cliff because you're saying jump. It's not how it works, at least from my own perspective.
Hey, talk about Wolf of Wall Street. Got things done around there.
But just from my perspective, it feels like a lot more understanding is required. Everyone has different backgrounds, so understanding, also being able to see one's own shortcomings and where my weaknesses lie. So that also ties into how, if you're someone that's looking for people to join your team, you have to audit your weaknesses, your strengths, and see what gaps need to be filled. So I would say with the guys on my team, they're filling the gaps that I have, and they're making sure that we have a well-oiled machine overall.
And to let us know, would love to know what are some maybe open gaps to this day that you'd like to fill in? What are some roles that Xeddy you're actively looking at growing in?
Yep. So right now, I would say anything that I have to prioritize outside of the work that drives us forward, at least from a funding standpoint. So right now, and this isn't something I'm even complaining about, because I think this is crucial for me to do at this point in this juncture. It's some of the work that gets us customers, so sales, marketing, customer success. So having individuals that are constantly keeping up with the customers that we have so that they feel good, so that's just more of me having time and not having enough time to be as proficient as I want to be in sales or customer success. If there are reps or there's individuals that are representing Xeddy to make sure that our customers feel really good about working with us.
It's awesome. It's awesome. You hear it here first. I mean, Xeddy, you guys are doing amazing work, and as much as we talked about, again, the influence not only from your family but the USM, this is a business that can scale across the country, across the globe, willing enough. So I only wish you the best, and for everything you've said. You're very profound. You're approaching life, from a very thoughtful perspective, and you know that if you try your hardest, like, good things are gonna come from it. So, like you said, you're working to have fun, and he's working to change the world. So, thank you for sharing that with us.
No, thank you for asking all these great questions, guys.
No problem, man. And I just want you to know, like, anytime that you need anything, Why Y'all Working is here for you. The community is here for you. And this is always going to be a platform for you to just speak your piece, say what you need to say, ask anything of anyone or anybody. Last thing I want to leave out with is, if there is anything that anybody anywhere in the world could do for you right now, what would that be? In order to help you continue to do the things that you do, what would that be?
Yeah. Well, if you have any insight, if you want to learn more about what we're doing, connect. I definitely just like the idea of connecting with as many people as possible, learning from as many people as possible, and growing what we have to where it can be.
Sweet.
Yeah. Dope. And you mentioned off camera, but I think you mentioned on camera too. I don't know what's going on. But the web app is available for people to access, to look at the tool and the marketing website as well. Is that correct?
Right. We have the marketing website up and running, so that's Xeddy.app. The web app will be available towards the end of this month, October 23. Just dating.
And how do we spell Xeddy? Is it with an X?
Yeah, X with Xeddy. So Teddy with an X.
Got you. All right.
Here it is. Thanks for being here.
Definitely. Thank you guys for having me.
Appreciate it. Woo. We out.
Y'all working. Peace.